The Art of Yoga by Bharat Thakur Artistic Yoga, written and recited by Sneha. Part 9. Imagination. Have you ever wondered how an ace actor is able to do diverse roles with a kind of physical, mental, and emotional investment required to deliver a powerful performance, and the fatigue thereafter, having played a role that demands her everything? An actor uses her imaginative body to emote, to create a character, and to portray an event in time. Imagination is an agile aspect of the mind. Dream, visualization, creativity flow from this modification. Vikalpa is a Sanskrit word for imagination, which has several meanings, ranging from alternation, art, doubt, indecision, to God, based on the context that it is used. As the Yoga Sutra states, imagination or vikalpa is a thought pattern that has verbal expression and knowledge, but for which there is no such object or reality in existence. Shabda Jnana Anupati Vastu Shunyo Vikalpa. Anything that hasn't come into gross existence, that cannot be touched with the fingers, can be considered as part of the imaginative body. There is a certain idea or expression, and definitely knowledge attached to that idea, but there is no concrete or rigid structure yet. We can also say that which exists but hasn't come into our logical perception is also part of the imaginative body, as we are only limited by how far we can see. The further we look, the more possibilities we can find. When we can tap into imagination, it can be used to transcend some limitations of the mind with the help of buddhi or intellect, so that a new understanding can dawn upon us. Children have a vivid imagination with a curious and active intellect, which helps them formulate concepts about the things that are present in their environment. Learning is a creative process. When it stops being creative, knowledge gets stuck and begins to recycle as plain information. So imagination keeps the mind open to learning. An artist is someone who remains open to experimentation and uses his imagination to expand his vision. He goes through a process of learning and unlearning, which makes him an inventor, much like a scientist. Albert Einstein stirred up a debate when he said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge." When we look at the vastness of this world, the unending array of colors, shapes, species, we see Mother Nature doing her magic every day. It is actually an art, and to venture into understanding her ways would require a vision, an imagination of a different order. Scientific imagination, rooted in reasoning alone, requires a big leap from what is already established by the scientific community thus far. Scientists could benefit by reinventing the whole process itself. I am a doer, is also the approach of a scientist. They believe in doing, dissecting, and concluding, and attempt to understand the laws of nature through mathematical calculations alone. But their mechanical instruments fall short to detect and measure the various phenomena of this dynamic nature. Richard Feynman, the theoretical physicist, with a known sense of humor and a fine imagination, once said, "A very great deal more truth can become known than can be proven." That is a fact we could reflect upon. There is another way to approach imagination, where we use knowledge and expression to create, to innovate, to elaborate, and to magnify. I am a creator, which is the approach of a painter, poet, actor, and meditator. Seers of yoga have devised techniques to harness this power of imagination with concrete visualization and the help of yantras and mantras. Yantra is a device, a geometric representation of a certain principle of nature. This human body is also a yantra. Mantra is sound. When generated methodically, it attunes the human system to specific vibrations that can unleash his or her potential. Yantra and mantra work together. Guidance is a must with these practices. There is also another aspect which we could call the downside of imagination. When the manas, or the feeling aspect of the mind, is overcome with imagination, it may lead to doubt, indecision, wishful thinking, if only then attitude, an approach which throws a person into an enhanced state of delusion. Immense awareness is required to channelize this aspect of the mind, and it can be used to further one's practice on the spiritual path. We will explore the next modification of the mind, sleep, in the upcoming blog.